You got me believing that I can seize the day. You got me hooked on a feeling that I can do anything if I give my heart to it.
Hello, Sharks. Welcome to Moments with Shai Will. We have a very special guest today, Jakki Young. She is a hospitality manager and also CEO of Outshining Yoga. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you for asking.
Thank you for being here. So, being a part of the hospitality industries, what have you experienced? Or what was it like?
The real question is, what haven't I experienced? It had its days. I used to manage a restaurant in Las Vegas.
Nice.
So you could imagine we had all types of clientele come in, all different walks of life. It was very much an unforgettable experience. It taught me a lot about people.
That's a fact.
A lot about life.
Also that too.
And it also taught me how to work with different people and find compassion for people in different ways.
Yeah, that's right. And then like dealing with the customers on an everyday basis, because sometimes someone doesn't like their food. Like, what type of manager were you? Because, you know, I've experienced some of them that didn't really care. I mean, some of them, you know, they want to comp everything. And I'm like, that's not the reason why I'm telling you I'm not happy. It's not about being comped. It's just, let's get it right.
I was more of the service manager, so I deal more with the servers. But as a manager, you always have to deal with any situation that comes your way. Sometimes the person that should be taking care of the situation isn't available.
Yeah.
I try to just meet people where they are in the
Yeah.
situation. People come to you for a certain reason, and when you have a restaurant, you have an item.
Yeah.
You have a supply.
That's
People have a demand.
And for, right.
And unfortunately, with the demand comes expectations.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Yes, it does. And it's like being a parent to the staff.
It's like being a parent to staff, because at the same time, it's a business, but these are people and they have feelings and, you know, they have personal lives. So it's finding that ground between, you know, being a person and realizing that people do have bad days or off days.
That's very true. And that's what a lot of people who's in a higher position, they got to understand. We are all people. Yes, you might make a few more dollars than me. You might have that title, but then again.
Well, actually, as a manager and a server, the servers actually make more money.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would think, you know what? You know what? I believe that because I have a few friends that are servers and they don't want to be a manager because they say the work is stressful.
It is
and
very
they don't
stressful.
feel like the pay is worth it.
It's long hours. It's very demanding.
Yeah.
It's like, again, like having kids that you didn't birth.
Exactly. So what kind of education did you have to obtain to be able to get this position?
No college degree, but honestly, I had to work my way up.
That's right.
I started as a hostess.
Wow, girl.
Yeah, so definitely a lot of work that you have to put in,
Yeah.
but through experience, you gain it. You gain the knowledge through experience.
That's
It's
true.
like anything you do, though. Honestly, that piece of paper really, it certifies you, but it doesn't really qualify you for the job.
Yeah.
You know, you get your qualifications through doing it,
That's true.
showing up and having the experiences.
Yeah, that's like going to college for a degree and no one wants to hire you to give you the experience, but then it's like, where am I going to get the experience from, right?
I walked in a restaurant, I wanted to be a server, and they gave me a hostess job because they were like, you're not ready to wait tables.
Yeah.
I cried the first day I waited tables. I was not ready to wait tables. And none of my coworkers helped me.
I had a few experience in a restaurant. I've actually used to be a hostess in a restaurant too. So I can just imagine, yeah.
How long that work out for?
Well, you know, it was a few restaurants. And, yeah. And there was a time that I was the customer and my food didn't taste right. Like it was something was just very off about it. And the manager was like, well, can I try it? I was like, oh, I'm not even mad. Here you go. Because you know what, I believed at that moment, people were probably just complaining for no reason, just to get the comp.
Okay.
You know, I
Yeah.
can understand that. And that's what I felt at that moment.
Or the manager really cared and she probably
Also
knew the
that too.
recipe.
Right.
And wanted to see if she can tell or he can tell if there was something that was
Yeah,
missing.
and he actually tried it. It was an appetizer and he tried it and he was like, okay, we're going to have them make this over and we're going to comp the bill. And at that very moment, I said, you don't have to comp the bill. You know what I mean? Like, because I want people to understand that's not what it's always about.
Yeah.
You know?
But you know what? At the end of the day, right? Someone does that. It's not just like, oh, take it off so that person feels better. It's also acknowledging that we knew that there was a situation, there was a problem, it wasn't right. I want to correct the problem. And I also want you to know that I cared that it was wrong. It wasn't right. So it's not really about you having to pay for it or not. It's to make you feel more satisfied and make you want to come back.
And that's exactly what it should be, is customer service, you know. And if the food is good, trust me, people are going to come back.
They will.
Even if the service is not that great, but if the food is good, they'll still come back. Now, if the food ain't that great, I don't know what to tell you.
You should expect to have good service and good food. It does exist. It can exist.
It's so hard to find restaurants that are good all the time.
Yeah, the consistency, right? I think that's just a part of life.
And I think it's the cooks too.
Yeah.
Have you been somewhere, right, and order the same thing all the time, and then when you get it, it's different every time?
I have been in a situation where it's different every time, but also been somewhere it's the same every time too.
Yeah, I know. I'm just a big foodie. I love food, and I don't like the experience when the soda tastes better than the entree. Then we have a problem.
Now you guys are out of business.
Yeah. Yeah, Shai's favorite time, yeah.
You don't have a business.
No, not at all. No, I'm such a foodie. Big time. Shai's favorite time. I have my food page, I do. You know.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay,
so.
You need to tell me a place I have to try here in Miami.
Okay, I know a few.
Okay.
I know tons.
Ooh, I bet.
Yes, girl. Oh, yes, definitely. Okay, Sharks, we'll be right back.
You got me believing that I can seize the day. You got me hooked on a feeling.
Learn and earn today at Miami-Dade College. College graduates earn 56% more than high school graduates and $1 million more in lifetime earnings. A degree from MdC is your path to greater earning power and career success. Choose from hundreds of affordable high-tech and in-demand career programs, including cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, business, and nursing. Learn and earn today at MdC and fast-track your career. Enroll now at mdc.edu/purpose.
You got me believing that I can seize the day. You got me hooked on a feeling that I can do anything if I give my heart to it.
Welcome back, Sharks. You're tuned in Moments with Shai Will. We have been speaking to Jakki Young, a hospitality manager and also CEO of Outshining Yoga. So, can you please give me a brief history on how yoga was developed or where it originated from? Because I've been wanting to know that. I don't know too much about yoga.
You know what? There is kind of a controversial with that. It really just depends on who teaches you and what you believe in.
Okay.
Some people would say it originated from India and that it was a practice that is actually meant to calm the mind.
Yes.
It wasn't originally a physical practice. It was more of a mental practice. And over time it evolved after people had been introduced to it. And then it became a physical practice. It came mainstream once it came to the Western Hemisphere. And now yoga is like all these different things.
Right, so it's been around for centuries, basically, right?
It's been around for centuries. It has. There's also another story that it came from Egypt. And yeah.
You know what? Thinking of, when you see the writings on the
Egyptian
writings,
pyramids.
I see that.
Yeah. The different poses
Yes.
and the way, yeah.
Yes.
So so also it just depends on who you learn from.
Yeah.
I believe a little bit of both. They both can exist. You know what I mean? At the same time, maybe it
Right.
originated from India.
It's probably
and traveled
everywhere,
to
right.
Egypt, or maybe vice versa.
And then it became a thing, what was it, like the early 2000s or 90s?
It was the early 90s,
Uh-huh.
where people actually really started practicing it, but I think 2000s is where it kind of just like blew up.
Right. And it's like a form of meditation, supposed to relax you. And
It's actually called a moving meditation. It does a lot of things for you. It just really depends on the person and what they want to get out of it.
Yeah.
A lot of people come to yoga for the body, but I believe there's 3 tiers to yoga. You come there for the body, and then you end up leaving and learning that it's more than just movement in your body. For me, it's been a way of life, really. It helped me just change the way I live. So if you start moving and you want to gain flexibility, or you want to gain strength, or you just want to move in a different way, that's great. But then eventually you start to say, okay, there's something else involved in this practice. And
Right.
then you learn about the philosophy of yoga.
yes.
And then that's when the mind starts to come in, and it starts to create curiosity of how to live your life in a different way.
I like that.
And if you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
But once you know, you can't unknow.
And then you're like addicted to it, because I see yoga everywhere. And I've tried it a few times.
And how'd that work out for you?
It was cool. It was just different for me.
Yeah.
I can say that. I do work out, but I just like go jogging. I do things like that. And a little bit of cardio here and there. I don't go to the gym or anything, because everybody's a trainer.
Everybody
I don't like
guilty.
that. Yeah.
Especially if you live in South Florida. Everyone's a trainer. Everyone's a real estate agent.
Yeah.
But not too many talk show hosts.
Hey, exactly. So tell me, what's the difference between a yoga instructor and regular fitness instructor?
Well, yoga is actually a spiritual practice.
I've heard that.
Yeah, so like I said, you come for the body, and then you start to get curious, and you start to unlock things in your mind.
Yeah.
And it really shifts your lifestyle. Fitness is more, it's more for the body, but it's also a lifestyle too. So it really just depends on what you need.
What you need. I
yeah.
like that underlined.
And I do both. I do both, because sometimes fitness gives me something that yoga doesn't. Like if I need that hardcore push myself, hit it hard, like that's what I need in that moment. But if I need to just sit down with my thoughts and my feelings and be more present in my body, be conscious of my thoughts, taking deeper breaths, and I need yoga in that moment.
So basically it's very soothing, it gets the blood flowing through the veins. It's very relaxing. And that's exactly how I feel when I work out. It's like I could tell the difference when I'm working out and I'm not working out. And then the worst thing about it is when you stop for a day, then it becomes a week, then it's like 4 weeks. To get back into the shape of it.
You just gotta show up every time in some shape or way or form, right? We think like when we go to the gym, we have to be there for hours or 2.
Yeah, like some people, I'm like, she's like, oh, I run 6 miles. I'm like, but you don't need to run 6 miles. You want to? No, I'm not running 6 miles with you.
Some people need the 6 miles.
She's thin. She don't need 6 miles. I'm like,
what hamburger.
At this point, I'm like, what you really running away from?
What you really running away from? That's funny.
Yeah, I'm like, no, girl, I'm not doing 6 miles. That's exhausting. 2 miles alone, especially in this heat.
I just picked up running.
Okay.
I didn't want to do it either, but.
Yeah. How do you like it? And be honest about it. It's okay.
I have my mixed feelings about it. Some days I get on the treadmill and I'm like, I really don't want to do this, but I need it. I love the feeling that I get afterwards.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm running towards.
It's the feeling that you get.
And also it makes your legs strong.
It does,
And if you want some nice glutes, you might want to get on there and start running. Okay.
Exactly. So what are the health benefits associated with yoga? Like, I want you to get a little deeper about it.
Okay. So it's going to help lower your stress levels immediately. It's going to help you stay fit.
And the stress levels, that's important because people
Absolutely.
be stressing out here.
Absolutely. Especially if most women, they want to lose weight. If you have high stress levels, which is your cortisone hormone, that's going to stop you from losing weight.
Yeah.
So it helps that. It helps balance out your hormones.
So you can lose weight from doing yoga.
Yeah, you have to do a certain type of yoga, but yeah, I mean, everywhere in Miami, it's not hard. Everywhere in Miami has
every
hot yoga.
block, it has a yoga fitness studio. And then what about muscles? Do you gain any muscles with the yoga?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can gain muscle strength. You can gain flexibility. You can gain mobility.
Nice.
You can gain a peace of mind. You can learn a meditation practice. You can learn how to take deeper breaths.
Yeah.
You can learn how to live your life.
Well, that sounds good for a singer, deeper breaths. You know, that's good for them.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
It's good for them. And then, so there's no age limit either, right?
Absolutely not. In the yoga community, there's a yoga for everybody. I actually teach chair yoga to seniors.
Wow.
And my oldest client is 99 years old.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. They love it.
I'm sure.
They love it.
Yes, because you want to work out. You know, I don't want to have to ever depend on anybody when I get
you don't move
older.
it.
So I'm like moving every day. I
If
can still
you don't
do a
move
split
it,
too.
what?
Yes.
I need to see that.
Okay.
Me too, girl. We could be splitting it together.
I like that. We definitely gonna do that.
I thought you said you don't do yoga, but you were here doing the splits.
I was a cheerleader.
Ah.
That's right, Sark. Don't go
can see
anywhere.
that.
We'll be right back.
You got me believing that I can seize the day. You got me hooked.
Learn and earn today at Miami-Dade College. College graduates earn 56% more than high school graduates and $1 million more in lifetime earnings. A degree from MdC is your path to greater earning power and career success. Choose from hundreds of affordable high-tech and in-demand career programs, including cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, business, and nursing. Learn and earn today at MdC and fast-track your career. Enroll now at mdc.edu/purpose.
You got me believing that I can seize the day. You got me hooked on a feeling that I can do anything if I give my heart to it.
Sharks, I'm glad you're still here with us. Moments with Shai Will. So now let's have a little fun. It's time for self-reflection. How you doing? So if you can go back in time, what would you change in your life today?
Ooh. Honestly, I wouldn't change anything just because everything has led me up to this exact moment.
Yeah.
I would just ask to be more present
Yeah.
with the special moments, slow down a little bit. That's the only thing I would ask for.
That's really good that you say that. Because, you know, you come across different walks of life, and some people, they regret so many things. I've heard, like, this woman I was talking to, she's like, yeah, I regret not doing my bachelor's, you know, and getting my master's. And, you know, she's, like, in her 60s, and she's, like, she's going back and forth thinking about it. I'm like, well, hey, I mean, your kids are big. If you have the extra time, why not go ahead and do it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it'd be the smallest things. Like, even some people, oh, I regret not having children. You know, and it's like when you listen to that, it makes you think about your life too. Like, what would you change? And
well, I fly at the seat of my pants. I kind of do the spontaneous things that, you know, I think about when I have an opportunity that doesn't really, you know, come across very often. I take it, like being here, you know, and sharing this moment with you.
thank you.
You know, so I honestly, I try not to live that way where I regret things. I'm a very spontaneous person.
I am too. You know, I tried alligator the other day.
I don't know if I'm that spontaneous.
And, you know, like I try to be spontaneous and just be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to do this. And you know what, too? Another thing, it's not so much regretting, but it's seeing things differently. I'm no longer going to miss out on things in life because I have no one to go
Eat with.
Okay.
That's actually how I traveled around Europe. Like, honestly, I would have never left my small town in Michigan if I was waiting for someone else to do it with me. I told my friend, like, I'm going to move. And I was like, I'm just going to move.
And that's what you did.
And that's what I did. And I packed up my stuff and got in my car and I drove.
In the car? How long was that drive?
It was 2 days. I drove to Las Vegas from Michigan and everyone was telling me, oh, that's a long drive. How are you going to do that? You don't have a job. You don't have this. You don't have that. And I put it in my head and I was like, I'm not letting anybody change my mind about it. And it led me to so many other places. Then I started traveling the world after that. So that's why I said I don't have any regrets because, you know, once I put my mind to something, that's it. I'm doing it.
And that's how you gotta go. Because even for me, when I do that, especially my parents, they're like, no, why are you going out by, well, call this person. I'm like, this person doesn't want to go. And the funny thing about it, when everyone that you invited, they're like, well, how come you didn't tell me? Oh, why can't we do it another time? I'm tired of waiting for another time.
100%.
So I'm grateful that I've learned to take that step forward and just say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Oh, life is
and I
about
don't need
that.
people's approval anymore. It's just like when I decided to go back to school as an adult.
Good for you.
Which is very hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very hard.
I mean, I got my yoga certification after almost being out of school for 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's going to school because I had to learn about the body. I had to learn anatomy. I had to do presentations. I had to read. And it was very challenging because it was something that I told myself I didn't have to do anymore. And then all of a sudden now here I am doing it.
Yes.
And I have to make a conscious decision and a conscious choice to keep showing up and doing that. But that's what life is about, right?
It is.
It's about making conscious decisions to do things. And it's all about change. And the more you change, the more you grow. And once you stop willing to learn, that's when you stop living.
And see, there you go. That's exactly what it is.
What, the living? Yeah.
And you have to live every moment and don't need people's approval anymore. Oh, that's not a job. You know, broadcasting is not a job. Oh, okay. Well, excuse me.
I mean, you know what? I think that a yoga instructor, a lot of people think like it's not very much respected profession. But it's hard work.
I'm sure.
It's hard work. I have to create experiences for people and be able to be outside of myself to show up for other people and guide them a place and take them there safely and take them there in a way that they get something out of it and then guide them out safely. So it's a huge responsibility. People look up to me, you know, and they expect to get a result at the end.
Yeah.
But I love it.
You should.
It's a life-changing experience. If anybody that always asks me, they said, I'm thinking about getting my yoga certification, I always support it.
Aww.
And it's not even to be a teacher. It's just to help develop themselves. Not even just
guiding them in the right direction. And of course, they're going to come to you because you have the experience. So maybe you can share some knowledge on it. And that's understandable.
Absolutely.
You know?
I think
and that's thoughtful of you because a lot of people would not share. Like, it's just like if someone else, they talk about radio, I always wanted to do radio. I'm like, well, this is the time now. Some people wouldn't even encourage them because they feel like that's another person of competition. And I'm like, what's meant for you is for you.
No, we collabing at the top. I'm definitely want to share. That's part of one of my superpowers is sharing. Part of being a yoga instructor is sharing. Sharing your experiences, you know, not just in yoga, but just in fitness and in lifestyle in general. The way I impact people's lives is through sharing.
Oh, I'm sure. That's good that you're willing to share because people are stingy out
here. I know. But you know what? What's for you will never miss you. You're going to get it regardless if that person shares or not.
Yes, I truly believe that. And you have to believe in yourself. I mean, as cheesy as it may sound cliche, but you really have to believe in yourself. Because, you know, sometimes you probably feel there'll be a little bit of doubt. It comes with stress, and then you're like, and then you gotta.
Well, I know you can contest to this. When you go into a situation or go into a show or have a radio talk or interview, when you're like confident about it, you're like very positive, you believe in yourself about it comes out amazing.
Yeah.
When you go into something, you're like very hesitant, you don't have the confidence.
Yeah, girl.
It's kind of all over the place. And you kind of struggle through the whole thing.
You do struggle through the whole thing because it's a very lonely, dark road. It really is to success, because you're gonna have your mom and dad, but what about everyone else that are your friends, or, you know, they're supposed to be supportive? They're not going to always be there. You might have that one person, but you know what's surprising? It's always going to be someone that you least expect.
100%. Oh, I agree. 100%. The way I got through my training was through someone I least expected. The people that I thought was going to show up for me did not show up for me. But you know what? The most important thing is to remind yourself to show up for yourself, because you only have you at the end of the day, you know? So it's my advice.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
It was such a pleasure having Jakki Young here. Yes, girl. Continue with all your greatness that you're doing.
Thank you.
We're going to have to definitely do some yoga, okay?
I need to see that split.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Thank you again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. All right, Sharks, it was such a pleasure having Jakki Young here on the show. And thanks for tuning in to Moments with Shai Will. Till next time.